Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can totally hear you. Okay. I'm just pinning you right now so I can see you and not me.
The perks of Zoom, to say the least. Am I getting you from Canada or LA?
You are from Canada. I'm in Toronto right now.
Beautiful, beautiful Ontario. You have not forgotten your roots.
Not at all. Where are you right now?
I'm in New York, which is, come on, Toronto, New York City, same thing, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Same thing. How's everything in New York right now?
Well, we're 20 miles outside of New York City in a beach town, so people are more relaxed here. They're
Okay.
not rioting here. They're a little too relaxed. Are you in Toronto proper, or are you in Ajax?
No. I'm like in right dead in Toronto proper right now. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm here working on a production right now, and I'm
Yeah.
staying with friends. So yeah, no, but everything's good though. I mean, yeah, restaurants are closed, patios are open. It's been mild this week, so that was cool. But usually, I mean, I get so busy that I don't really have time to go out anyway. So it's all good. Staying safe.
So seeing Jiu Jitsu with my wife, we watched the whole thing last night. And I also interviewed Juju over the project. I've already seen you say more and smile more in talking to you for 30 seconds than Jake does in the whole movie. So same goes for your kickboxer movie. Is it hard for you to be such a different person on screen?
It's yeah, sometimes it is because my instinct would be to be kind of like this on screen, just the way I am in real life. But no, Dimitri's always saying, Alain, the less you talk, it's good. We want you to be a man of action. You have to show what you want instead of saying what you want. You show what you do instead of saying what you do. That's who you are. You're a guy who can do it, so let's see you do it. And I'm like, okay, cool, And I appreciate that of him because Dimitri's really good at directing me.
Yeah.
He's always good at taking me into that space, which is not as the natural because as you can see, I'm very talkative.
Well, I see you hearing you right now. I say there's possibly this guy could have gone to Second City, Toronto.
Oh yeah.
Because I've never met one person from Ontario that did not have comedic sensibility. And you kind of keep the tradition going on that end.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. That's really cool. Yeah.
But what I'm curious about, knowing your background, and I'm going to ask you about Dimitri in a second.
Mm-hmm.
When was it that martial arts went from an actual fighting thing to acting, in the sense of when did you realize you weren't going to be competing in the field, that it was just going to be part of your acting?
Well, that was like pretty late in the game because I started martial arts because I wanted to act. I wanted to be an action star. Funny enough, most people see an action movie, they say, hey, I want to be like the character. Pretty quickly, I wanted to be like the dude who I thought was like his job was to shoot the movie. I thought that was the coolest
Right.
thing in the world. So why wouldn't I want to do that? But then I'm from Ottawa, so how do you get into the film industry from here? Who knows? My parents at some point saw there was a movie with who was it? Pierce Brosnan was shooting a movie in Ottawa, right outside of Ottawa, and they said they're looking for extras. But I ended up never doing it, So I ended up being a martial artist, opening a school, and this is that was in the early 2000s. So the UFC was just becoming mainstream. MMA competition was still in bars here. Like I had friends competing, and they would set up a ring in a bar. That was the whole thing. So I thought, okay, well, I could go that route. That would be. I had every skill I needed. I was in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I was a really good striker. So I was helping my friends prepare. They're like, why don't you compete? And I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe I could. And I was just about to. And then when I was about to, my friend called me about stunts. And then I'm like, hold on a second. That's what I want to do. That sounds much more appealing to me. And then from there, it was like opening a door towards acting. And that's what I wanted. Yeah. So that's then when I decided that, I'm going to use my skills for showmanship instead of fighting.
Was high school wrestling on your agenda also with your training?
I did a bit. I did 1 year of high school wrestling, but then I didn't pursue it. I was so into jiu-jitsu. I was traveling, doing live shows and competing. So because I was so busy with jiu-jitsu, that was my whole focus. I didn't really give myself the time to do other things, really. I did a bit of soccer. I'm a natural athlete, so I would pick up a game. I was never the best at every sport, but I was natural at every sport.
And always showed up.
Oh,
That's the thing that
I
happens
always
with
showed up
that.
no matter what. That's absolutely. I always showed up. I'm competitive. So, I think I'm competitive in a good way. It brings out the good in me. It brings out the wanting to win. If I don't, it's not the end of the world. I can take it because there's a lesson. There's always a lesson to me. So either you win or you learn. So I love learning, which was positive for me.
And the Dimitri you mentioned before, this is not the first film that you worked on with Dimitri, of course. It's not very common to see a lead actor who works with the same director over and over again. Like, I remember reading Tom Cruise has never worked with the same director twice. I don't know what that's
really?
about, per se. But how did you and Dimitri first meet?
So I was working on a film in Montreal. It was one of his films. It's a martial arts film. And I was part of the stunt team. The stunt coordinator, Jean Frenette, is who I started with. And this was a martial arts film. So like we were prepping all the fights. We end up, what Jean loved to do for directors, he loved to do a live show, because when you see a fight live, you really get the energy of what you're going to see on screen, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just showing a film version of it. So we did this live show, 40 minutes. I was in 3 of the key fights. Dimitri was there, producer, director. And at the end of that show, he came over, said, "Hi, my name's Dimitri. What's your name?" And talked to me for about 5 minutes, asked me about my martial arts background, my family, where I come from. And I kind of chatted with him for about 5 minutes. And the next day I got a call from casting saying that he wanted me to audition for the lead role of the film. In my mind, I was happy. I had this small role, this small fighter role in the film. I was so happy because I was going to be acting. I was like, "Oh my God, this is it. I got it." And finally, I got a call for the lead because he wanted an authentic martial artist to be the star of this martial arts film. Dimitri understands this whole idea that martial arts fans, the people that go see martial arts films, they want to see somebody doing it. They don't want to know, they don't want to imagine that somebody else is stepping in every time that they have to do something cool. They want to know that that person is doing the cool stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I met Dimitri on that show. He cast me, and then I auditioned. 2 days later, I got a call. I met with him, and he says, "Hey, so how did he word this? I think he said this kind of like this. He said, 'I saw your audition. You're very green.'" And I'm like, "Okay, yes, you're right, I am." He says, "However, I think I can direct you. I think I can have you on set, and I think you're going to follow my directions really well, and you have all the skills that I want my star to have. So how do you feel about us doing a few movies together?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yes. When do we start?" And that was my only answer. He said, "Okay, well, I'll send you some the information. I'll give you a contract. Let's just start. Let's get on screen." I just want, this guy's willing to take a chance on me. Let's go, and that's how we started a relationship. And that led to Kickboxer Vengeance, Kickboxer Retaliation, and now our third film, Jiu Jitsu. When you know what, this is the third of many more to come.
Hope so. It looks like a great collaboration. Jiu-Jitsu is very unique on a number of levels. First, that you integrate the comics into it, that it's very visually impressive on that end. The fights are very fast-paced. They speed up, they slow down. The camera angles are very unique. Any idea how much of that is Dimitri just being original versus just having a great team?
Dimitri is a very, he's a visionary. That's what I call him. So he's got such a vision for what he wants to see on screen. So he'll always come up with some cool original stuff that even I'm like, is that going to work? And then it's like, obviously it does. But I think it's a combination of things. Number one, he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants to see on screen. That's for sure. He's got a great team behind him. He's got an amazing DP. Madrax, this is our second movie together. And Madrax and Dimitri together are both so open-minded. Not one of them thinks they have all the right answers. So they talk together, but then when it comes to the action, they also come to see me. And they say, "Alain, show us the fight." We look at the fight. Myself, our stunt coordinator, Jim, Dimitri, and Madrax. We're like, "Okay, so how is the best way, the coolest way to shoot this thing?" And then everybody starts going. And we look at, "Dimitri, what's your vision? Here's what I want." Perfect. So then we go from there and we start collaborating. And we go. And on Jiu Jitsu, what was cool is that, like I said, this is a testament to Dimitri's skill into finding a great team. He was also very trusting of his team. So I remember when we did the fight, Nick Cage versus Brax, okay, that big action piece, we had very limited time to do that piece. So we look at the previous, very extensive. He's like, all right, guys, I know how to shoot this. Here's what I want. So he gives us instructions on the big picture. And he says, now it's up to you to get that done. So, okay, cool. So he's at the camera. He knows the big shots he wants. Perfect. But then we got to get into the nitty gritty. So he's like, Alain, talk to Madrax. Let's see, make this happen. So cool. I'm like, okay, Max, that was Nick's double. You do this. And Ryan Taryn, which is another good friend of mine, played Brax. So they're taking care of prepping Nick. Nick tells me, Alain, you look at that monitor. If it's not good enough, I will do it as many times as you want. I'm like, perfect. Madrax. He says, Alain, you tell me where to have the cameras. I'm like, cool. So everybody's in there, and I started like just jigging this because we have virtually no time. And then Dimitri on the megaphone, Alain, listen, I need this kind of shot. And then Dimitri calls it, and then we make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
It is the ultimate collaboration, which is cool. But Dimitri knows exactly what he wants to see on screen. He knows how to blend drama with action.
Yeah.
He also knows how to blend, I'd say, more of a Hong Kong style filmmaking, which is very wide, masters, that kind of stuff, with an American style of filmmaking, which is these kind of shots, that kind of shots for the drama, impactful hits, that kind of stuff. I find that he's able to really blend the two masterfully. And that's what I think his talent is. Yeah.
But compliments to you for not just showing up, learning your lines, doing your action scenes and moving on. You are always on call, it sounds like.
There's not a one moment where I'm not doing something. It's crazy. My schedule on set is rehearsals before, the set after. On set, I have 3 different hats at the same time, and we're going. So, but you know what? That's what is exciting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that I get so much out of it, not only learning the craft of acting, but actually when I look at Dimitri and I use him as a mentor, he's a mentor to me, is understanding filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
I love filmmaking. That's what I love. I love the whole process from prep to production to post-production. I like the whole thing. So that's why when I'm on set, when I'm on a job like this, I never stop. It's like go, go, go from beginning to the end. And when we're done, I take a vacation.
Well, this has been very inspirational, being respectful of your time. Before I ask you my last question, you had me cracking up when you wind up on that piano in the middle. Why you'd have a piano in the hole in this middle of the universe, I don't know. That's fantastic. So
right?
My closing question to you is, any last words for the kids?
For the kids, I say, listen, make sure you go, you watch Jiu Jitsu, enjoy it, escape, and let your imagination take over, because that's what it's all about. It's about having a good time, letting your imagination take over, and to be inspired. This is meant to be a fun movie, and I think that's what everybody's gonna love about it. You know, so have fun with it.
Well said. Seriously, looking forward to everything else you have coming out. Thank you for this great chat, and just keep up all the greatness there.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I appreciate the time.